in the heart of Mexico, nestled amidst the arid landscape, stood an ancient church veiled in shadows and secrets. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the legends surrounding the old church, a place where the line between the mortal world and the supernatural was blurred. It was said that every 30 years, on the night of the blood moon, an eerie ritual would take place within its unhallowed halls, presided over by an enigmatic old woman known as La Anciana. Her presence was whispered to be a harbinger of malevolence, a conduit to the realm of darkness. In the small village of Santa Clara, the tales of the church's macabre rituals were passed down through generations, each telling more terrifying than the last. The townsfolk lived in a perpetual state of unease, their superstitions guiding their every action. But there were those who scoffed at the notion of the supernatural, the skeptics, the disbelievers. Among them was a young journalist named Daniel Sanchez, an outsider who had arrived in Santa Clara with a relentless determination to uncover the truth behind the legends. Daniel had heard the stories, of course, but he dismissed them as nothing more than folklore, the fabrications of a superstitious community. Armed with his camera and notebook, he set out to expose the church's dark secrets and unravel the truth hidden within its ancient walls. On the night of the blood moon, as the sky transformed into a sinister crimson, Daniel positioned himself across the street from the church, his pulse quickening with anticipation. He watched as the villagers, dressed in ceremonial garb, filed into the church's entrance, their faces etched with a mixture of reverence and dread. The atmosphere crackled with an otherworldly energy, sending chills down Daniel's spine. Summoning his courage, Daniel approached the church, his footsteps echoing through the empty streets. The wooden door groaned in protest as he pushed it open, revealing a cavernous interior bathed in an ethereal glow. Shadows danced upon the walls, casting eerie silhouettes of the pews and the ancient altar. As Daniel ventured deeper into the church, a voice whispered in his ear, a rasp of age and malice. "You dare to intrude upon my domain, young fool," the voice hissed. Daniel spun around, his heart pounding, but saw nothing. The presence lingered, unseen but undeniably present. From the darkness, La Anciana emerged, her wizened form draped in a tattered black shroud. Her eyes burned with an unnatural fire, reflecting a depth of knowledge that sent shivers down Daniel's spine. Her voice, dripping with ancient wisdom, echoed through the church, commanding both fear and fascination. "You seek the truth, do you not, young journalist?" she crooned. "But be warned, the truth you seek is darker than you can imagine." Undeterred, Daniel pressed on, his camera capturing every detail, every flickering candle and twisted symbol. The ritual was in full swing, an intricate dance of incantations and offerings, invoking powers beyond human comprehension. The air grew thick with anticipation, as if the very fabric of reality was being torn asunder. But then, as if sensing Daniel's presence, the villagers turned their gaze toward him. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and their movements grew more frenzied, their devotion escalating into a fanaticism that bordered on madness. They advanced upon Daniel, their hands outstretched, their voices joining in a haunting chorus of adulation. In that moment, Daniel realized the true nature of the ritual. It was not a communion with benevolent forces. It was an unholy pact with the ancient and malevolent entities that lurked beyond the veil. La Anciana, the orchestrator of this dark symphony, reveled in the chaos, her eyes gleaming with a perverse delight. With a surge of adrenaline, Daniel fought against the fervent crowd, struggling to escape their grasp. Desperation fueled his every movement, his instincts driving him toward the only chance of survival, the ancient altar at the heart of the church. As he reached the altar, a revelation struck him, a truth buried deep within the annals of history. The blood moon, the rituals, the power unleashed upon this night. It was all a means to preserve the village, to protect it from an ancient evil that threatened to consume it. With newfound understanding, Daniel turned to face La Anciana, who stood at the pulpit, her gaze fixated on him. He confronted her with the knowledge he had acquired, challenging her to consider the consequences of her actions. The power she sought was not salvation, but damnation, a price too high to pay, even for the preservation of a village. Enraged, La Anciana unleashed her dark powers upon Daniel. Shadows coiled around him, threatening to engulf his very soul. But in that moment, he discovered a power of his own, a power born of conviction and a deep-rooted desire to protect the innocent. With a surge of determination, Daniel raised his camera, capturing the essence of the witch in a blinding flash. The photograph immortalized her malevolence, freezing her in a moment of eternal condemnation. The church trembled, its walls crumbling under the weight of the unleashed power. The villagers, freed from the influence of the dark forces, collapsed in exhaustion, their bodies drained. As the dust settled, Daniel emerged from the wreckage, battered but triumphant. The church, once a haven for ancient rituals, now lay in ruins, a monument to the resilience of the human spirit. Word of the events in Santa Clara spread throughout Mexico, captivating the nation. Daniel's photographs became a testament to the battle between light and darkness, a reminder that evil could be confronted and vanquished, no matter how deeply rooted it appeared to be. And so, the tale of the old church in Mexico echoed through generations, a chilling reminder of the power of myth and the courage required to confront the terrors that lurk in the shadows. The villagers, forever grateful for Daniel's intervention, rebuilt their lives, forever wary of the ancient forces that threatened to disrupt their fragile peace. But deep in the collective memory of Santa Clara, the legend of the witch's parish remained, an enduring testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the eternal struggle against the forces that seek to consume us. And there, in the heart of Mexico, the old church stood as a solemn reminder of the battle that raged between light and darkness, forever etching its mark on the fabric of time.